Uh-oh. Oh, I was like, man, there it goes. Oh, so you ready to begin,
But it
Jacob?
was just perfect.
I think so.
Today.
Okay,
It's
we'll
like
ask
that.
Chuck to
Yeah,
ring the
well,
chime in a couple seconds.
Maybe not so like it, but feel comfortable, more comfortable with it than
Right.
As long as
98 degrees.
Exactly.
Dan is
I
ready.
get that.
I believe so. We're starting with,
So Kathleen left? I thought she was gonna,
No, she just showed up for, yeah, to say hi.
I see.
we're starting with just the opening song.
Well, yeah, but Chuck is gonna do the chime now, or the bowl, singing bowl. I always call it a chime, I'm sorry. And then we'll turn it over to Jacob to play the gathering music.
Yeah. Get in your spot, man.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Thank you, Jacob. Welcome. That was just the gathering music. And welcome. For anybody that might be watching this as a recorded session online, my name is Brian. My pronouns are he, him. And we're really glad to have Jacob Nault here with us today. I know that we sent out information with his bio and everything. He's a UCC pastor, a musician, composer, a disability advocate, and he has a song that is out right now, which he's going to be introducing to us a little bit later. A couple of more announcements. Most of us know these things, but Sunday is Music Sunday. So this is kind of like a kickoff to music weekend, I guess, in some ways. So we really appreciate Jacob coming. And then we know that we only have service once a month in the summer. And yeah, that's about
SWB
it. So,
audio capture, not registered.
not
All
sure what
right.
that is.
Shall I get started?
Yes, we're turning it over to you, Jacob. Thank you.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Really grateful to be with you. I'll come over here so you can actually see me. Hang on.
There he is.
Here I am. So when I play, you will not actually be able to see me because Zoom was not cooperating with me and getting a second camera hooked up. So when I'm talking, I'll come over here. And when I'm not talking, when I'm singing, I'll go over there where the piano is. So I am coming to you live from my studio in Waupun, Wisconsin. I serve Union Congregational Church in Waupun, which is in the sort of southernmost tip of northeast Wisconsin. And I met Pastor Brian when he was my professor of queer theology at a course that I took at Eden Seminary. And so I'm really, really excited for Brian to be inviting me to be with you all. And you'll have to forgive me with technical difficulties. We'll do the best we can. And I'm kind of working with a new microphone setup over here. And so learning how to use all of the ins and outs and everything, but I'm thankful for all your patience. So
SWB audio
the first
capture
song that we're gonna
not
be doing
registered.
is called "Welcome to This Circle." This is by a woman named Trish Brooksford Colligan. She and Richard are friends of both Brian's and mine. And Richard is an ELCA Lutheran songwriter, and his wife Trish is also a songwriter. And you'll hear me do the song first, and then if you and we'll probably do the song twice through, so you can sing along if you like with the words that'll be on the screen, thanks to your AV team. So it goes like this. Welcome to this circle where love and grace abound. We honor your journey, and wherever you are bound, we will walk beside you, encourage you on your way, and celebrate your spirit, and hold you as we pray. There is love for one like you. There is grace enough to see you through. And wherever you have walked, and whatever
SWB audio capture not registered.
may you know there is none for one like you. Let's sing together. Welcome to this circle. Welcome to this circle where love and grace abound. We honor your journey, and wherever you are bound, we will walk beside you, encourage you on your way, and celebrate your spirit, and hold you as we pray. There is love for one like you. There is grace enough to see you through. And wherever you have walked, and whatever path you choose, may you know there is love for one like you. And wherever you have walked, and wherever you have walked, and wherever path you choose, may you know there is love for one like you.
While Jacob is transitioning back I also graduated with Trisha's husband, Richard.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Yes, indeed. Really good people.
I think it's coming from his end.
What's
Jacob,
going
we keep
on?
getting this message saying something audio is not being captured, and it keeps repeating itself.
Like every 3 or 4 minutes or something.
It's a technical voice.
It's a technical voice.
Are you hearing that?
No?
Okay, so it's just bothering us and
We'll ignore it.
we'll ignore it, yes.
Okay.
Two audios at the same time.
It's something not being captured.
It's something in this room.
Registered.
Oh,
Registered.
I don't know where it's coming
Yeah.
from.
Is it one of
Okay.
the mics?
Can you hear me when I do?
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
Oh,
I-
yeah.
Okay.
yes.
Yep.
Everything else is working, yeah.
Okay. It seems like I've done everything I can on my end.
Okay.
It's not, I don't think it's you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
just keep it going. We can deal with it. Don't worry.
Is it when you mute and unmute us that it does that? No?
I have no idea what it's doing.
So,
Technological gremlins.
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things. So, and I forgot to tell you before that my pronouns are he, him, and his also. And I'm really excited to be with you. So, our opening meditation is by a friend of mine. I'm on the United Church of Christ Disabilities Ministries Board, and I met my friend Becca Anderson through this work, and she wrote this beautiful meditation called "The Body of God," and you're about to hear her say her meditation with music that I have recorded.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Is that you, Dan?
Typing is.
I know. No,
Should
I'm just
we-
saying you're supposed to play something now.
Are you playing something? Or the... Can we mute ourselves, maybe? Would that help?
It's the Body of God audio.
It says it's playing.
Huh.
Where?
It's good to
If it doesn't play, I can probably play it on my end. I can probably.
It's not playing through.
Yeah, apparently we're having some technical difficulties way above and beyond the ones that you have. So if you could play it from your end, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I will do that right now. I've just got to find it in the email that I sent to you. Here we
We're
go.
kind of a laid back group, so don't fret.
Yeah.
Okay. I found
Okay.
it. I found it. All right. Just give me a second. It's got to load it into my software here. Okay. I think I should be ready for it. Usually with this meditation, she invites anybody who listens to it to close your eyes and or soften your gaze, whatever's most comfortable for you, because we'll be visualizing what the body of God might be like. So this is The Body of God by Becca Maran Anderson.
Imagine the body of God.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
Imagine it with all the genders and races and physical descriptions of the world. God is male and female and both and neither and all. God is black and brown and olive and tan. God has hair in long braids, wrinkled face, flat nose, small eyes, full beard, curvy body, long arms, short legs. God wears flowing dresses and blue jeans and saris and turbans and tuxedos and lots of jewelry. God God has tattoos of every animal of the world and a single heart-shaped stud in their right ear. And God has every ability and every disability in the world. God walks, God limps, God rolls, God crawls. God gets where God needs to be, gets to us however God can. God's mind works with the speed and sometimes the randomness of ADHD. God feels pain with the depths of depression and energy like an episode of mania. God hears voices, the voices of all people and all living things. God has no one way of solving problems. Sometimes God moves from step to step with the most analytic of minds. Sometimes God makes great intuitive
SWP audio
leaps
capture not
that cannot be
registered.
explained. Sometimes God gets stuck in a loop because the present, whether good or bad, is the time where God lives. God paints with their feet and reads with their hands. God can dance by swaying and shuffling, and sing by making noises that are not words, but express emotions that words cannot. God is too busy reaching out to us to be concerned that they cannot see. God is too busy feeling the rhythms of the music in their bones to worry about what it sounds like. God is too busy loving with all God's arrhythmic heart to be anything but grateful for the body they have. Is it any wonder that we have trouble grasping God when God's body does not move the ways we expect a body to move? Is it any wonder we have trouble understanding God when the pace and enunciation of God's speech are not what we expect? Is it any wonder that we cannot comprehend God who bears the chronic pain of the suffering of the world? How can we come closer to this being beyond our comprehension, this body-mind that meets none of our expectations? By freeing ourselves of expectations. By searching for God in the unique body-minds of our fellow human beings. By seeking to
SWP
understand
audio
that
capture
which challenges
not
us
registered.
and confuses us and frightens us. By accepting ourselves and the body minds that make us who we are. When we pray that all of this may be so. When we pray to love all bodies and minds. When we pray to be both broken and whole at once, we are praying to be more like God.
So I invite you now to open your eyes if you've closed them. So we'll be thinking together just for a moment about what we noticed. So the questions that I want us to sort of think about as we look at this together is, what did you notice? what was a stumbling block for you? Or how do you think about God or spirit or divine differently after hearing this? You can answer any or all of those questions, or anything else that comes to your
SWB audio
mind.
capture, not
So,
registered.
Well, I have to think about God having long COVID. And,
yeah,
you know, one of the things she didn't mention is, you know, cancer and long COVID and, you know, how, you know, natural selection made a lot of mistakes.
yeah,
Or
indeed.
those are
Indeed.
just organisms that actually were really successful.
Indeed.
But,
Indeed.
yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's what you were asking, but that's sort of what went through my mind.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's great. Thank you. What else?
I think of myself as a universalist first, I guess, or pantheist, or whatever you might say. So
Right. Yeah.
it resonated a lot with me, that it's all of the interconnections and all of the existences and way to describe it are holy in their own way.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
often not what we expect.
Right. It's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
The unperfect are precious.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Indeed. And perfection and perfectionism is something that prevents us from
SWB
understanding
audio
the
capture, not
beauty
registered.
of all people and all things. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I just want to say that when I hear that, and this is just the academic in me, I can't help but think and recall of one of my favorite books of all time by Sally McFay called The Body of God, where she refers very similarly to God in so many different ways,
Sure.
as well as looking at the earth as the body of God.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, and she used God's pronoun as there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And it's interesting to me because she wrote this meditation back in, I think, 2021, and she continually revises it over time. And so I always wonder, you know, and she always gives me the most, you know, recent revision because she knows I use it in lots of different places, and it's always interesting, you know, to see what she's changed, and you know what she continues to change. So
That's like progressive revelation in action, isn't it?
indeed,
Seminary student.
indeed,
I was
Yeah.
just thinking that could get very, very long by the
Yeah, right.
she's done.
yep, yep, yeah. I think
SWB
from
audio
what she's
capture,
told me,
not
she
registered.
is happy enough with the current state of things, which is why she told me, yeah, go ahead and record it. But you know, knowing Becca, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, some time in the future, she revised it again, which is great. So
Yeah, some of it's have the need to edit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all sorts of interesting things. Yeah. So, shall I move into the presentation part? Is there anything else that we want to share before moving into that?
I think we're good.
I'm good.
Ready, go.
Okay. So, so I'm going to talk to you today about becoming bold people of the divine's welcome. To get to that, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to start at the local Chinese restaurant about a mile away from the Eden Seminary campus and an ATM machine. I may be admitting my youth a little bit here, but at that time, I had never used an ATM machine. And you know, I had never with my vision problems, it's sometimes hard to see that little tiny slot that you have to put your card in. And a
SWB
friend of
audio
mine whose name
capture
is Tara,
not registered.
and she's also a very fierce advocate of mine. She knows that as much as she helps me, she also knows when not to help me, right? So there's this line sometimes where have you ever seen a disabled person, and I use the word disabled quite deliberately, and I'll tell you why in a second. Have you ever seen a disabled person try to do something, and then all of a sudden something that they're doing starts to take a little bit too long for everybody else, and so somebody who's able-bodied jumps in and says, "Oh, you poor little thing, let me do that for you," and it becomes really dehumanizing to that individual, and so all of everything was going pretty normal at this Chinese restaurant until this random restaurant patron said loudly so that everybody could hear, "Are we just going to sit here and watch him suffer?"
Wow.
Not, "Do you need help?" Not, "I'll pay for your dinner since you're a broke seminary student." But, "Are we just going to sit here and watch him suffer?" Now, of course, in that moment, I felt about 2 feet tall. And finally, I called my friend Tara over, and she helped me with the ATM machine. And
SWB audio capture not
I generally
registered.
don't suffer with my disability. What I do suffer from is intolerant people who treat me like a second-class citizen of our society, and the fact that sometimes the fortunes in my fortune cookies don't make sense. So, if we're brutally honest with ourselves, I wonder sometimes how many of us and how many of our churches and how many of our communities might not be far off from the attitude of that lady at the Chinese restaurant. How many of you have heard someone in your church say, "I don't need a microphone, I'll just use my outside voice"?
Yes.
Or perhaps, if you're depressed or anxious, maybe your faith isn't strong enough. Now, all of this is, of course, ableist, and there are lots of different ways to define the term ableism. And basically, an elevator version of that would be something along the lines of understanding that people who are disabled are kind of a second class. And here, actually, I'm going to find you one of the definitions I like. And I didn't even think about doing this. Here we go. So Talila Lewis is a social worker and a community
SWB
organizer.
audio capture
And
not
they
registered.
have a blog that every year they work on what they call a working definition of ableism. A working definition of ableism, and it's changed several times throughout the blog the blog's inception, and this is the most current version of Talila Lewis's definition of ableism. A system that places value on people's bodies and minds based on societally constructed ideas of normality, intelligence, excellence, desirability, and productivity. These constructed ideas are deeply rooted in anti-blackness, eugenics, misogyny, colonialism, imperialism, and capitalism. This form of systemic oppression leads to people and society determining who is valuable and worthy based on a person's language, appearance, religion, and or their ability to satisfactorily reproduce, excel, and behave. And here's the kicker. You do not have to be disabled to experience ableism. And you know there are a lot of things to unpack here. But when you hear that, what do you notice? What jumps out at you?
SWB audio capture not registered.
Well, normal is somebody else's definition.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Or maybe the majority, but it's that's just, I mean, normal is it's wishy-washy. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
You know, it's not very it's not a very good word. Really.
I've heard some people say normal is a setting on a dryer.
Right.
Which never works.
I know, it doesn't for me either.
It works for the majority of the clothing in the machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also ponder whenever you read that definition, which I've obviously I've read before, but I haven't actually had it read to me until just now, which is a whole different experience. But I, of course, in my, theological brain, I want to say, okay, who gets to do the social construction of all of these things? And
Yeah.
of course, it's kind of a rhetorical question, but
Yeah. Yeah.
powerful white heterosexual men with
Right.
wealth, right?
Right. Yeah.
Normal people.
And normal people, yeah.
Better job at defining it than I do. Right.
Yeah.
But
and-
yes, it's white supremacy is what it is.
And
Yeah.
I was thinking how word normal if you're just talking about the field of statistics is an actual thing, inside the bell curve
Yeah.
or whatever.
SWB audio capture not registered.
But somebody like insurance company sees those statistics and go, okay, we're going to cover this section of people, and those people in the margins we're not
Right.
going to cover because they're not quote unquote normal, you know.
Right.
And we got to kind of rethink that.
Yeah. 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 Thank you. So when I first gave this message, I based it pretty strongly on Psalm 139. I'm not going to get into too much of that because we want to widen our our understanding of not just using Christian texts, but all sorts of different thought processes. But I will just tell you. The two verses of Psalm 139 that are particularly meaningful for me. It says, "For it was you who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works that I know very well." And so what if all of us in our communities and in our lives could remind ourselves and each other that we are fearfully and wonderfully made in divine likeness? And how would that change how we welcome one another in our worship spaces, our community lives,
SWB audio capture not
our
registered.
public spaces, our city halls, our government places, all sorts of places? How would it change us if we thought that every living being is fearfully and wonderfully made for a purpose? And as you reflect on becoming bold people of divine welcome, and as you think about the ways that your gathered community can be more accessible in all the different ways, I ask you, I beg you, please don't let becoming bold people of divine welcome be buzzwords that you use for ways to share my message with you today. Now more than ever, I think our communities need to understand that we as human beings need each other. Right? And I think we're created in all our particularities with our own particular gifts and challenges and needs. And we all have so much to offer because of how we were made, because we were made so thoroughly and so lovingly. We have so much to offer this world. And if we truly believe this, I think we're called to do something about it and to work to make it
SWB audio capture
so.
not
This week,
registered.
I invite you to dream with me. Dream with me for a world where wheelchair users and people with autism and people with cancer, people with all sorts of disabilities, visible and invisible, can be embraced in our worship experiences and in our public spaces, and where stutters and slurred speech can become part of the understanding of what people who are loved by divine sounds like, or maybe even what divine sounds like, where people who act and look differently than we do are not looked upon with pity or disgust, but instead they are looked upon with love, and they're told that they belong here and they were thought of. We made this community event with you in mind. where there are elevators for every staircase and there is health insurance for every condition without the fear that it might be taken away. And dream with me for a world where racism and sexism and heterosexism and homophobia and xenophobia and ableism and any other discriminatory behavior is no more. Instead, dream with me for a world where we come from all our particularities and witness to the divine's work within us and in the world. And then let us do what we can to take the next steps towards peace and justice and well-being for all. May it be so. Thank you.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
So as you digest that, what questions or comments or thoughts do you have? If somebody is speaking, I can't hear. Still not hearing.
Maybe that message you got.
That's
through
better.
about-
That's better. Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, no, when someone is disabled, I don't know how to ask to offer help, because, you know, they tell you, tread carefully
Yes.
with that. I'm more likely, like if I'm in the grocery store and I see a woman who appears to be normal, trying to reach something on the top shelf, I have no problem
Right.
saying, can I help you?
Right.
But it just, I want to say the right thing and I don't always know whether I
Sure.
should or, so.
Well, and that's a great
SWB audio
question.
capture,
And I
not
think
registered.
The question sort of becomes, it sounds like you would have no trouble saying that to somebody who doesn't appear to be disabled, and I think the question becomes, are you asking something, are you asking something just because a person appears to be disabled, or is what you're asking something that you would ask anybody? And I think sometimes um, disabled people are used to people coming in with malintent. People coming in and saying, here, let me do that for you, like I said before. But I think if we had more examples of people just saying, would you like some help? Not even saying like, oh, I see that blah 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 blah. Would you like some help? Just just saying, would you like some help? Shouldn't be on its own something that is triggering or difficult. And yet,
Okay. That's what I needed to know.
yeah, yeah.
When
So-
I worked at long-term care for mental illness, the biggest thing we were taught to ask was just like, would you like some assistance or would you
Yeah.
appreciate some assistance? And
Right,
just kind of
yeah.
offering it, and it's whatever they, accept.
SWB audio capture
Absolutely.
not registered.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. What else?
Well, this is a very situationally specific question, but
Yeah.
we utilize a space that we rent, and it is not accessible for the most part. So, do you have any advice to give us about how we could make things more accessible without it being accessible? And we can't actually alter the building in any way.
Yeah.
That may be too big of a question to ask, but we could talk about that later, maybe. I just
Yeah.
wanted to bring that into the room.
Or if you know of resources that we could look into.
Oh yeah, or
Sure.
resources that we may be
You
able
can
to
turn
look
the
into.
camera and then he can see the access point.
Yeah, there's a,
Double door, French door, and then there's a staircase.
If somebody came
Goes
to-
up out the exit that
if-
way.
if somebody came with a wheelchair, we'd have to go out and tell them, don't come in that door, come in over here and we'll open the sliding glass door for you. So
There's
it
a
is,
considerable bump there too.
but there's a pretty good bump there.
And if they have to use the restroom,
Yeah, getting to the
Oh,
restroom
yeah.
requires the
Right.
stairs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
it's 25 below outside, it's also difficult to open the door without being
Right.
blown away.
Right, or
and
there's
the
snow.
snowdrift.
And the snow drifts, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, without being physically in your space, you know, it's hard sometimes to maybe answer that question, but I think one of the things that I notice is that you're doing well is that you don't have fixed seating, you know, things can be moved around. So
SWB
that
audio
is-
capture
that is
not
helpful
registered.
because one of the things that we often say in churches with pews is that wheelchair users are so often relegated to the back, and then they can't see. They can't see the screen. They can't see other things, and they can't necessarily hear if the audio system isn't working, for example. You know, all sorts of things like that. So you've got that in your favor. Without being able to install an elevator, would a stair lift, like a chair lift, be something you could put in? Would that be a possibility to get people up and down the stairs to go to the bathroom?
Stairs aren't wide enough to take up too much room on the stairs.
It'd be the whole.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but one of the reasons I asked these questions is because I have a dear friend who watches a recording of our service, and is it not able to be able to do lots of things because they are in
Yeah.
a wheelchair, and they made the observation that the door case isn't even wide enough to go through with a wheelchair. So
Oh,
it's not something that we can actually solve today, but I think it's important just to keep asking questions.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know if the UU has a disability awareness committee or a disability awareness board of some sort, but
We do, yeah.
you do? Okay. That might be a like if they've got a good website or something, that might be a good place to go. And also UCC Disabilities Ministries has some
SWB
really
audio
good
capture
resources,
not
and their
registered.
website is just uccdm for disabilitiesministries.org. So that would be another place I would look. I know all the folks on that board, and they do really, really good work. So those kinds of websites, either the UU or the UCC websites might be able to give you some resources, and you might even be able to tap into if you've got a UU committee and some of them are close to you regionally, you might be able to have somebody come in, look at your space, and do kind of a walkthrough together and see what kinds of things you might be able to do. That's something very similar to what we do when a church is interested in being designated in the UCC as accessible to all. There's a accessibility audit that they have to fill out, and they literally go through their entire building and kind of figure out where the pitfalls are and where they might be able to make some adjustments. And of course, you being in a shared building definitely doesn't make that any easier. But I think you might be able to find some resources based on the people you have access to. I feel like that's sort of a non-answer, but I sort of feel like maybe that's the best answer I can give you without
SWB audio capture not registered.
So
I think it's definitely a good starting point.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to take that on for so long because I know.
oh,
we're
no
trying to
worries, no worries. It's all good. It's all
We just
good.
try to keep the service to an hour, so we're getting close to that mark. So I'm sorry for getting us off track. Usually I'm not the one that does that. Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm gonna address the same too, right? Yeah. Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, pastors can be a little long-winded too. I know I am one. So, so in the interest of time, I'm wondering if maybe we should skip the song that I had planned to the next song that I had planned to sing. You can look at it on my website, and then and instead maybe do some candles and joys and concerns and then I would give you the sending insight and we would sing Sending You Light. Does that sound like a good way to sort of shorten things up a little?
That sounds great. It's a great invitation to go to your website because your song is amazing. We should all
Thank
go
you.
listen.
Yeah.
And my website is super simple. It's just jacobnault.com. And Nault is spelled like fault with an N. So Jacob, NAULT.com. Sorry.
Nice.
Thank you. So if anybody wants to come up and light a candle.
I'll light one in silence.
This is for Dan, who's trying to do tech today.
SWB audio capture not registered.
It's been working like 12-hour days, like almost every day. And
Oh.
still trying to put our pool together on top of it all, so busy.
This too shall pass.
I don't even know where it's coming from. It's the brothel.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
right.
have muted everything and unmuted everything. And it's I don't know where it's coming from.
It's official. I retire.
Hooray! Congratulations!
Still has lots of cleaning out to do.
Yeah.
And graduation.
Yeah. And I am not allowed to have candles here in my apartment. It says so in my lease. So I don't actually have a candle, but I would offer a metaphorical candle perhaps to be
We
lit.
can light one for you.
Oh, sure.
We'll light one for you. Just go ahead.
So for the family of Debbie, I did a I officiated a funeral this morning for a woman named Debbie in my congregation who died very suddenly after a fall and hitting her head and having a traumatic brain injury, and she died a few days later.
wow.
And so her husband Dave is a member of my congregation, and certainly was not expecting this, and is having a difficult time. For Debbie and for Dave.
I'm gonna light a candle because I found out today that I do not have a cancerous tumor.
SWB audio capture, not registered.
That's not registered.
But I'm also lighting a candle for all those who've struggled still
Yes.
and who have passed.
Yes. That is that's very close to my heart, actually, because my mom's cancer came back in November, and she had surgery to remove it and is now in remission. So yeah, so that's very close to my heart, Brian. Thank you for sharing that.
And thank you for coming and presenting to us. And
Yeah.
I think we'll skip the sending insight and just let you lead us in our song to end the service.
Sure,
if that's okay.
absolutely. Yeah. So let me transition over to my other microphone. All right. And I was sitting over there for long enough that my piano turned off. Okay. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending
SWB audio capture, not
to
registered.
heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. One more time. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. Thank you for having me and letting me be here with you today. It's been a joy, and I just hope and pray for your successful ministry to and with one another, and I hope that you are blessed with curiosity and with discomfort and with hope and with courage for the time that we're in.
May it be so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob.
Very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great rest of your weekend, and don't preach too long on Sunday.
I'll try not to. All right. Take care,
All right,
y'all. Bye-bye.
I doubt the UCC people take a summer vacation, do they?
Some of them do.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it, it's usually